this is huge for the Sussex brand, and they're trying to tell people that they should like Harry and Meghan because they're martyrs. That's basically what the strategy is.
Meghan seems to be a little dismayed at the moment at the reaction to what he's doing, because up to now she's always believed, and both of them, I guess, have always believed that they are seen as philanthropists. They're seen as, decent people, helping others, making sure that, their good works are seen far and wide. But apparently it's not like that anymore in America. People are a bit fed up with them.
The proof is in the pudding, right? You've got to produce the ratings. You've got to make them the money back. Otherwise, as I say, it doesn't matter if you're the Duke and Duchess of Sussex.
Sources told The Telegraph in an article titled "Second Award Row Overshadows Prince Harry's U.S. Relaunch" that it is a bitter pill to swallow when Prince Harry is criticized about anything relating to his military record and work with veterans. Quote, "Harry's legacy on Invictus, the things he has achieved, that's his real passion." They said this is the space in which he truly feels at home. It is something he deeply cares about. The reaction certainly took the shine off the award. The Telegraph calls Prince Harry stunned by the rejection, the author explaining that since moving abroad and being forced to give up his various military honors and associations, the Duke of Sussex has instead resorted to collecting American awards. Since the announcement, ESPN's own Pat McAfee scoffed at the idea of Prince Harry being honored. Pat Tillman's mother questioned the decision, and over 60,000 people have signed a petition asking for ESPN to reconsider. Pat Tilman was a professional NFL player who enlisted in the U.S. Army following the September 11th attacks. Tilman played college football for Arizona State University and professional football for the Arizona Cardinals. Tragically, Tilman was killed in a friendly fire scandal in Afghanistan on April 22nd, 2004. Lori Roberts from the Arizona Republic wrote an opinion piece titled, "How About Some Respect, ESPN, for Pat Tilman's Mother, Mary Tilman." First of all, I mean, within the next 48 hours, we're getting a Harry and Meghan's sighting. I guess I should say within the next 24 hours, we're getting a Harry and Meghan sighting. They are both expected to attend the ESPY Awards in Los Angeles, California. Serena Williams, Meghan Markle's friend, is who we expect to see in Harry's upcoming Polo series on Netflix, is the host of that event.
You've been covering all week, haven't you, Kinsey, the controversy around this Pat Tillman Award. Just remind us what the award is for anyone who's new and why it's so controversial.
It's a award for service and sports. It's where, military service meets sports. So Prince Harry vaguely falls under the category when it comes to Invictus Games, period. The pushback is Prince Harry receiving it when there are so many other people that are so much more worthy of it, that need that platform, that need that spotlight. We hear about Invictus Games every few weeks, legitimately, whether Prince Harry is appearing on Good Morning America or whether they are in Nigeria courting for an Invictus Games.
And sometimes we even hear about the athletes that are competing in Invictus Games as well, rather than just Meghan and Harry. And last week you and I were talking, weren't we, about, because of course this Pat Tillman being such a beloved figure in America, his family, his mother, the petition that gained loads of signatures saying that Prince Harry was not really eligible to receive this award. And we were saying, weren't we, on last week's episode, that, give it to the person that cleans the chemical toilets and arranges those at the Invictus Games. If you're going to give it to someone who is making a difference in sport, well, it's going to be, and you want to honour Invictus, it's going to be the people who put together the nuts and bolts of the games. Do you know, in the comments last week on YouTube, people actually were trying to track down the person who arranges the chemical toilets for the Invictus Games? So we love you, YouTube viewers. We love the people who comment. We are still trying to confirm the names that you've come up with of who sorts out the chemical toilets at the Invictus Games, but we still think they're a more worthy recipient So this award is taking place in the next 24 hours.
Yes, and a Harry and Meghan sighting on the horizon. I'm curious to see what he says. I'm hoping that he says this is not an award for me. This is an award for the Invictus Games. I highly doubt he'll acknowledge the family, the Royal Foundation, and the family, and the people, the gray suits that actually navigated truly creating the Invictus Games in, for Prince Harry, giving somebody that has little to no actual skills a fun little project.
And by the way, financed by his brother, if I'm not wrong, as well. Prince William's foundation money went towards. So I wonder if he'll get a mention or an acknowledgement. What do you think? I wonder.
But Meghan might, so they can get that nice little shot into the audience of her like seal clapping.
Yeah, that's exactly. Of course, looking on proudly, head tilt. She's got the Diana head tilt down as well, hasn't she? So she can look on proudly at her husband. So he is actually going to turn up then. There is no question that he has decided not to take this award.
Grant Harold, who is his former butler, has said that he wouldn't be surprised if Prince Harry turned down the award. You're seeing opinion pieces coming out of the state of Arizona, where Pat Tillman attended college, played college football, played for the Arizona Cardinals professionally. I mean, that was what people probably considered his home. Despite being from California, I think he probably really was an Arizona boy. And you're seeing those opinion pieces coming out of the state of Arizona that Prince Harry is no Pat Tillman and should not accept the award. But the reality is this is all a part of a bigger plan, and that plan is to change public perception. So this is going to air on ABC, one of the biggest news networks. Anybody with an antenna television can watch ABC. This is huge for the Sussex brand, and they're trying to tell people that they should like Harry and Meghan because they're martyrs. That's basically what the strategy is.
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing their PR, I don't think I would be accepting this kind of award from in the name of a figure who is so beloved in the States. And it's the most controversial award from what I understand, and from what your reporting has been saying, from what many of the opinion pieces you're quite right have said. This is a PR disaster for them to accept this award. Apparently, and I know, again, this is something you've been reporting on a lot this week, Prince Harry is, and I quote, stunned by the backlash towards this award. I mean, does Prince Harry just remain in a continual, perpetual cycle of either being stunned,
or
victimized,
stunned or stoned?
Yeah, you're right. It was a typo. Prince Harry is apparently stoned at the acceptance of this award. I mean, he just seems to be in this like perpetual cycle of victimhood, doesn't he? Oh, I'm stunned. I'm sad. I've got the small bedroom.
So hurt.
All of this stuff. Why is everyone against me as I sit here in my $100 million mansion with my millions and millions of pounds from Netflix, and the millions that my mother left me, and the millions that my grandmother left me, and the millions that my great grandmother left me as well? Oh, boo hoo!
Yeah, maybe
really
it's
sad.
because you're in.
Maybe. At what point would you start saying, maybe it's not the world, maybe it's me? Maybe I am the problem. What point, when you have cognitive behavioral therapy, Kinsey, it is important to realize that sometimes it's not all about you, but sometimes it is.
Exactly. I did read one PR person in the States say, and I thought that this was an important, it's an important thing that Harry and Meghan's team should be worried about. Will future organizations hesitate to give him awards knowing how much negative feedback they could be bringing on themselves? Well, or is it like all attention is good attention, so we'll take the negative attention too?
I remember a time, Kinsey, and I know I'm a little bit older than you, but I remember a time where you used to give an award to someone or an organization because they'd achieved something, because they'd done something. And so
this is Hollywood.
What did they do? I mean, again, what did they do what do they actually do to warrant getting an award? This is almost like the most full
up because people will tune in to the ESPYs on ABC because they're curious to see what Prince Harry has to say. If he's going to acknowledge this backlash, what is Meghan Markle going to wear? They're like a train crash. You can't look away, and that's what they do is they show up and they get attention on whatever award ceremony that is handing them the trophy. And I'm sure that when Meghan got that award in New York, I can't even tell you what it is anymore. I've already forgotten. I don't remember. I'm sure that was one of the issues that they had with it, because the next day we weren't talking about Meghan Markle's award. We weren't talking about this foundation. Instead, we were all talking about the snail car chase that happened throughout the streets of New York City. So we know that their ultimate objective is to get attention for the cause. But
that's a good point. Do you think that there might be an attempt by them for a positive spin on this award? Will there be a scuffle with the paparazzi when they leave? Will there be some form of martyrdom that is sprinkled onto this award to make it all about them? We will have to wait and see.
I'm sure that they will. The cameras will flash tomorrow night at the ceremony. I'm sure the camera will find the one person standing outside with the Harry and the I Love Prince Harry sign, on the streets of Los Angeles, and they'll be like, see, everybody loves Harry and Meghan. Or I just want to stress too, because I've done a ton of these award shows. I've worked a ton of these award shows. When somebody takes the stage, there are monitors in this beautiful arena, or where the venue, that will say applause. So what, we're going to see all the people on Twitter that are like, do you hear those roaring applause? The reality is there is a sign flashing that says applause, 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 instructing.
So it's sort of a hostage situation for the audience, isn't it? They know they can't get out unless they applaud. So just keep applauding and you'll be able to leave eventually. The doors are locked. If you don't clap enough, you will not be leaving.
No, but like it is kind of a situation. Like I'm not going to use the word hostage because I don't want to get in trouble. But there are seat fillers, and if you have to use the restroom, you can't use the restroom until like commercial breaks or until they assign a seat filler to come sit down for you, so that if they do a shot of the audience, it doesn't look empty in any way, shape, or form. So it is a production. It's all a production. Like, don't sit at home and watch and think, how authentic. Like, it is all very well planned out.
Well, of course, because they are now cheap reality stars. So why not be in a reality production? And I hope the award doesn't suffer going forward, because of course, from what I understand, there have been some worthy recipients in the past. I think that you raise a really good point about who would want to give them an award going forward, unless it's for dog biscuits. You never know. There might be a dog biscuit award. They might have produced the best dog biscuits going, so we shouldn't count them out on that one, Kinsey.
People keep coming out of the woodwork and saying, Harry, you really shouldn't take this award. This is really not something you should be doing. I assume he's avoiding any of that advice and just going straight ahead and getting it.
I think that you're exactly right. I do not think that he will turn this down, although it would have looked amazing if he had. Pat Tillman, played for college football in the state of Arizona and was also a professional football player for the Arizona Cardinals. In the state of Arizona, multiple opinion pieces have been written. They are irate over the comparison. And one woman told me specifically, Lori Roberts, who writes for the Arizona Republic, she said, it would be a really princely thing of him to do, to turn down this award. And I agree. I thought that was a nice description.
Yes, I think so. And I've seen a lot of pieces being written in the past week or so about how Meghan seems to be a little dismayed at the moment at the reaction to what he's doing, because up to now, she's always believed, and both of them, I guess, have always believed that they are seen as philanthropists. They're seen as, decent people, helping others, making sure that, their good works are seen far and wide. But apparently, it's not like that anymore in America. People are a bit fed up with them.
I mean, I feel like you forgot the word martyrs in your description. I mean, really, they work so hard to create the illusion that they are so similar, both of them, but he specifically pushes on us, are similar to Princess Diana. And I don't think that that benefits either one of them, because there's no comparison there whatsoever as well. But I looked on Ranker, and this is a story that broke a few months ago. Ranker is an evolving list of the most hated celebrities of 2024.
Right.
And Harry and Meghan, over 40,000 votes combined, remain at the number 1 and 2 spot of ranked disliked celebrities of 2024. So, you know, I do think that she has a hard time accepting that. She had the privilege of creating her own life before Prince Harry. She could tell a magazine something. She wasn't big enough for them to do their due diligence to go to you know, to confirm what she was saying.
Right.
And now she's living under a microscope, and people are calling her out for her dishonesty. And I don't think that people like her ultimate objective, which is just to benefit herself. What can she do to raise her profile, to put money in her own pocket, especially when they keep telling us that they're here to save the world.
Right.
And then we're like, oh, how's your Netflix cooking show going to do that, Meghan? Okay, enjoy. Additionally, last week, the Daily Beast broke that Meghan Markle had reportedly finished filming a new cooking series for Netflix. I can't remember if Harry and Meghan officially announced that they were doing a cooking and polo show, but that's something. I mean, for years we've heard Meghan Markle wanted to create a polo or a cooking show. She allegedly had meetings with agents in London prior to meeting Prince Harry to talk about hosting a cooking show or developing something around her involving food. We know she loved food through the TIG, where she shared recipes and how to entertain. And according to the Daily Beast, this new show will celebrate the joys of cooking, gardening, entertaining, and friendship. And the reports here in the States are there's a lot riding on the success of this show. I mean, I don't know how many people are going to actually be interested in the polo series, except for we're going to see Prince Harry's personality. We're going to see how passionate he is about this game. But, you know, do you think that the Netflix contract, this $100 million Netflix contract, could be in jeopardy if these next 2 projects don't succeed? I feel like Meet Me at the Lake is kind of a no-brainer. It was a best-selling book. You know, it's scripted. They're apparently putting together the elite to produce and star in that. But is their contract really driven by their personalities? And if this cooking show doesn't take off, you know, might Netflix say, we're not really interested in renewing?
Well, I think it comes down to how well these documentaries do. I mean, the Harry and Meghan documentary was obviously hugely successful. But that's been a one-off, hasn't it? It's been a bit of an anomaly. And Meghan's latest series, Pearl, which, you know, she had big ideas for, was meant to be, you know, the next big thing, that got canned. I don't think Harry's series on the Invictus Games was a huge success. You know, is anyone going to be interested enough in polo to watch a Netflix series about that? I mean, I don't know if there are enough gorgeous guys on polo horses. Possibly it might be attracting bums on seats. I don't know, but I think it's at a push. I actually have to say, I think a cooking show with Meghan, you know, billed as sort of celebrating the joys of cooking and gardening, you know, she'll bring all aspects into it. You know, I wonder if that could actually do quite well. Her cookbook did very well. As you say, she's a great cook. So I think that probably has got potential, certainly more so over polo. But I do think if these projects don't do well, content is everything. Netflix have put all this money on the table. They want the ratings. They want the box office hit that they expect with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. If it doesn't happen, I don't think it matters who they are. I think everything can be up for review.
Yeah, and I just, you know, to your point, there were so many headlines and awards that Meghan Markle was given after Archetypes. But I think it really came down to, with Spotify, was there a return on investment? And ultimately, I think Spotify felt like they, you know, didn't receive that return on investment. Yeah, there were a lot of eyeballs, but they were using a lot of resources as well. She had, at one point, she had like 17 different producers on the podcast. You know, a lot of it was, I just can't imagine what the outline was like, or what the breakdown was like to film it, because certain producers have said that they actually stepped in and did the interview, and then somebody swooped in and actually dropped Meghan's vocals over not the celebrity interviews, but some of the expert interviews. That's just a lot of resources being utilized. And so I think inevitably Harry and Meghan are going to be in a position to be able to produce their own content and push it out themselves. And maybe that's the ultimate goal. But certainly after leaving the British royal family, looking at all the expenses that they were going to have as a family, all of the security expenses, they were probably very grateful to people like Spotify and Netflix for giving them these opportunities so quickly out the door that really probably saved them.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, just to sort of finish on a note of cookery related jargon, the proof is in the pudding, right? You've got to produce the ratings. You've got to make them the money back. Otherwise, as I say, it doesn't matter if you're the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You know, money is money. And in the end, Spotify ended up parting ways. You know, let's hope for them that that's not the case with Netflix, and these projects do well for them, but we'll just have to wait and see.